Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. We'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kada Mahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pachata Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yadavaya Nama Krishna Madhavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha. Sri Krishna Hari Bol, Gopala Hari Bol. Radha Ramana Govinda Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Welcome you all to the Bhakti Sadachar course, and we are step by step learning about the Dashawataras, and today's turn is about Balarama incarnation. Okay, Hare Krishna. So who is Balarama? Who is Balarama? Lord Rama's brother, Lord Krishna's brother, Lord Nars.
Lord Krishna's brother.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So wherever there is Krishna, there is a Balaram, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Sarvavatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan, Tanhara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balarama. Okay. The Supreme Personality of the Godhead Krishna is fountainhead of all incarnation, as we have been discussing for the past few weeks. Okay. And Lord Balarama is his second body. So you always find Krishna Balarama in a together. Like Gauranga Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Krishna Balaram. So they are always together. So Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of the Godhead, is the primeval Lord, the original form of Godhead, and his first expansion of is Sri Balarama. Okay, the personality of the Godhead can expand himself in the innumerable forms, as we have learned in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The forms that have unlimited potency are called as a swamsa. Okay, and the forms that have a limited potency, living entities, are called as Vibhinnamsha. Okay. As per Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 5.5, Eka hi Swarupa Done, Bhinna Matra Kaya, Adya Kaya Vyuha, Krishna Lilara Sahaya. So these two are the one and the same identity. Okay, Krishna and Balaram, the one and the same. They differ only in the form, you know. The first is the primeval Lord is Krishna, but his first expansion is Lord Balarama. So is the first bodily expansion, and he assists in Krishna in all his transcendental pastime, isn't it? So you take any of the pastimes, whether killing the Dhenukasura or Pradambasura. So many demons Lord Krishna will be killing in his young age, and Lord Balarama will always be with Krishna in these endeavors. Okay. And Balarama is a Swamsa expansion of Lord, as discussed in the last verse, and therefore there is no difference in the potency between these two people, that is Krishna and Balaram. The only difference is their bodily structure. As the first expansion of the Godhead, Balarama is the chief deity among the first quadruple forms, and he is the foremost assistant of Lord Shri Krishna in his transcendental activities. So as you all know, like Lord Krishna is the son in by which number? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth.
Number one, Mata.
He is the which child in order?
Eighth.
Yes.
Eighth child.
Eighth child. Okay. And before that?
Balaram. Balaram Dev.
Yes. So the Lord also declared to Yoga Maya, you know, that the plenary expansion Ananta Sesha is within the womb of Devaki, that is Lord Krishna. On the account of being forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini, he will be known as Sankarsana and will be the source of all spiritual power or Bala, by which one can attain the highest bliss of life, which is called as Ramana. Okay, therefore, the plenary portion Ananta will be known after his appearance either as a Sankarsana or as a Balarama. So Yogamaya will replace Lord Krishna after the birth of the Lord Krishna. And before that, this is the conversation. Okay, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
In the Upanishads, it is stated, Nayam Atma Bala Ineni Labhya. The purport is that one cannot attain supreme platform of self-realization without being sufficiently favored by Balarama. Bala does not mean physical strength. No one can attain spiritual perfection by physical strength. One must have the spiritual strength which is infused by Balarama or Shankarsana. Ananta or Shesha is the source of the power which sustains all the planets in their different positions. Materially, this sustaining power is known as the law of gravitation, but actually it is a display of the potency of Shankarsana. Balaram or Shankarsana is the source of spiritual power or the original spiritual master. Therefore, Lord Nityanand Prabhu, who is also the incarnation of Balarama, is the original spiritual master. And the spiritual master is the representative of Balarama, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who supplies spiritual strength. In the Chaitanya Charanamrut, it is Chaitanya Charitramrut, it is confirmed that the spiritual master is the manifestation of the mercy of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, we have been emphasizing like you need a guru, okay, and he will take you further to progress in a bhakti and enhance your spiritual knowledge. Okay, and Krishna, to reach Krishna, you need assistance of Balarama. That's the reason why he's always there. Okay, he'll act as a spiritual master and help you to push forward in this bhakti. Okay. Yeah, this was an incident, after Lord Krishna was born, there's a name giving ceremony, and because the astrologer will say that baby has to be protected from any demons and the evil eye and all, they will not do it in a large scale. So simple ceremony will be performed, and this paragraph is about the ceremony. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, anybody can read. Yes, Prabhu, you can read.
The name giving ceremony. When Gargamuni was so eagerly requested by Nanda Maharaja, he performed the name giving ceremony as secretly as possible in the cowshed of Nanda Maharaja. He informed Nanda Maharaja that the son of Rohini would be very pleasing to his family members and relatives, and therefore would be called Rama. In the future, he would be extraordinarily strong, and therefore would be called Baldeva. Gargamuni said further, because your family and the family of the Yadus are so intimately connected and attracted, his name will also be Sankarsana. This means that Gargamuni awarded 3 names to the son of Rohini, namely Balrama, Sankarsana, and Baladeva. But he carefully did not disclose the fact that Balrama had also appeared in the womb of Devaki and was subsequently transferred to the womb of Rohini. Krishna and Balrama are real brothers, being original sons of Devaki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So name giving ceremony, because of the threat to Lord Krishna, they performed this name giving ceremony in a very low profile way, and the respective names were given. Okay. So Balarama was given 3 names, that is Balarama, Sankarshana, and Baladeva. So butter thieves. Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna. I wanted another devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
The butter thieves. If we keep our stock of yogurt, butter, and milk in a solitary dark places, yet Krishna and Balarama will find it in the darkness by the glaring effulgence of the ornaments and jewels on their bodies. If by chance they cannot find the hidden butter and yogurt, they go to our little babies and pinch their bodies so that they cry, and then they go away. If out of fear of these naughty boys, we keep our stock of butter and yogurt high on the ceiling, hanging on a swing, although it is beyond their reach, they arrange to reach it by piling all kinds of wooden planks over the grinding machine. And if they cannot reach, they make a hole in the pot. We think, therefore, that you had better take all the jeweled ornaments from the bodies of your children. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, twin brothers, brother in stealing the butter. Okay, there is a deep meaning behind that. Okay, Krishna praises Balarama. This I will make you read. Hare Krishna. So, the Krishna and the cowherd boys honoring the Balarama. So, daily they go to the bank of Yamuna river, and it's a good playful time, pastimes of Krishna, where he'll be enjoying with the cowherd boys, and Balarama will always be accompanying Lord Krishna. Okay, and I think this is the donkey, and when Krishna and Balarama along with his cowherd boys are playing in the bank of Yamuna river, this demon will come in the form of a donkey and try to disturb them. And Krishna, as usual, what he does is he will catch hold the hind legs of this donkey and swirl it around and just throw it in the wind. Yeah, this is a small story about Dhenukasura. I wanted another devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dhenukasura was a powerful demon but assumed the form of an ass. Mataji, I can't see. With his demon friends, he was occupying Talavana, one of the 12 forests of Vrindavana. These demons, no one could approach Talavana and enjoy the numerous flowers and fruits in the forest. Balarama, induced by his coward friends, entered the forest desiring to kill the demons. He began shaking the fruit trees, making a big noise. Dhenuka, furious at the intrusion, attacked Balarama with his rear legs. But Balarama easily picked him up by his legs and whirled him around until he died. As the other demon friends of Dhenuka rushed to attack, Krishna and Balarama picked them up and threw them on their trees, killing them. Soon the forest was free of all demons. It appeared that the bent trees were being directed by Balarama to pay obeisances to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is one episode of pastime where Krishna, along with Balarama, who will help him to kill the demon Dhenukasura. So another incident of the same is Pralambasura. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted another devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Once when Krishna and Balarama were playing with the coward boys, a demon named Pralamba entered their midst, disguised as a cowherd boy. Understanding the invincible potency of Krishna, he instead decided to abduct Balarama. At the end of the game, as the losing party, he was supposed to carry Balarama on his shoulders. Carrying the Lord on his shoulders, he ran swiftly, but Balarama, realizing the true identity of demon, began to make himself heavier and heavier. Unable to bear the weight, the demon assumed his original form, which was like a huge dark effulgent cloud decorated with golden ornaments. Balarama then brought his fist down the head of the demon, splitting it into two and causing him to give up his life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So never underestimate Krishna and Balarama. Okay, this is one more. They have put an end to Pralambasura. Hare Krishna. So Lord Krishna leave to Mathura and vision of Vishnuloka within the Yamuna river. Okay, Hare Krishna. So yeah, there are so many challenging situations to Lord Krishna that is been detailedly given in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and you have got a separate book called Krishna's the Krishna book, in which you got many stories. Okay. This is when when Lord Krishna and Balarama, they enter the Mathura at the end, of after killing all the demons. So the end, Kamsa will also enter. He will be there in that Mathura. So they try to kill again Krishna when he see him in front of him. But within no time, he will put an end to Kamsa as well as his dynasty. Okay. There will be ghastly fight where all the demons will be sent, but all those people will be put to end. Okay. Balarama strikes Rukmi. There is a story behind it. Okay. And this, I think I will. Yeah, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna. Ma.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna and Balarama enter Mathura. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna entered the city of Mathura, killed a washerman, and bestowed benedictions upon a weaver and a garland maker named Sudama. After showing his Vishnu form to Akrura in the waters of the Yamuna and receiving Akrura's prayers, Lord Krishna withdrew that vision, just as an actor winds up his performance. Akrura emerged from the water and in great amazement approached the Lord, who asked him whether he had seen something wonderful while bathing. Akrura replied, "Whatever wonderful things there are in the realms of water, earth, or sky, all have their existence within you. Thus, when one has seen you, nothing remains unseen." Akrura then began driving the chariot again. Krishna, Balarama, and Akrura reached Mathura late in the afternoon. After meeting up with Nanda Maharaja and the other cowherds who had gone on ahead, Krishna asked Akrura to return home, promising to visit him thereafter. He had killed Kamsa. Akrura unhappily bid the Lord goodbye, went to the king Kamsa to inform him that Krishna and Balarama had come and went home. Krishna and Balarama took the cowherd boys with them to see the splendorous city. As they all entered Mathura, the women of the city eagerly came out of their houses to see Krishna. They had often heard about him and had long since developed a deep attraction for him. But now that they were actually seeing him, they were overwhelmed with happiness, and all their distress due to his absence was eradicated. Krishna and Balarama then came upon Kamsa's wicked washerman. Krishna asked him for some of the first-class garments he was carrying, but he refused and even chastised the two lords. At this, Krishna became very angry and beheaded the man with his fingertips. Washerman's assistants The washerman's assistants, seeing his untimely end, dropped their bundles of clothes on the spot and ran off in all directions. Krishna and Balarama then took some of the garments they specially fancied. Next, a weaver approached the two lords and arrayed them suitably, for which service he received from Krishna opulence in his life and liberation in the next. Krishna and Balarama then went to the house of the garland maker Sudama. Sudama offered them in his full obeisances, worshipped them by bathing their feet and offering them such items as arghya and sandalwood paste, and chanted prayers in their honor. Then he adorned them with garlands of fragrant flowers. Pleased, the Lord offered him whatever benedictions he wished, and then they moved on.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This is the picture like at the end when Lord will come to just to kill the Kamsa. Okay. And then there will be a series of events, you know, how he will kill the Kamsa, the killing of Kamsa. Yes, can read from, yeah, you can start reading. I wanted some other devotee volunteer to read this.
The chapter tells how Krishna and Balarama killed the wrestlers, how Krishna killed Kamsa and consoled Kamsa's wives, and how the two lords were reunited with their mother and father. Deciding to wrestle, Lord Krishna faced off against Chanura and Lord Baladeva took on Mushtika. Battling arm to arm, head to At knee to knee and chest to chest, the opponents attacked each other so fiercely that they appeared to be harming even their own bodies. Ladies in the arena, seeing the violent battle, began to condemn the king and all the members of the assembly. A respectable audience should never have allowed a wrestling match between two huge wrestlers whose limbs are as tough as lightning bolts and such tender young boys who are just entering youth. An intelligent person should never enter an assembly if he sees injustice being done there. Because Vasudeva and Devaki did not fully understand the power of Krishna and Balarama, they became extremely unhappy when they heard the women of the audience speak these words. Sri Krishna then grabbed Chanura's arms, whirled him around several times, and threw him to the ground, killing him, and Mushtika met a similar fate. After being struck powerfully by Lord Baladeva's palm, he began vomiting blood and then down dead. Thereupon the wrestlers named Kuta, Sala, and Tosala came forward, but Krishna and Balarama easily singled them with the blows of their fists and feet. The remaining wrestlers, fearing for their lives, all fled. Except for Kamsa, everyone present cheered Krishna and Balarama. The king, in a rage, stopped the festive music and ordered that Vasudeva, Nanda, Ugrasena, and all the cowards be severely punished, and that Krishna and Balarama be driven from the assembly. Krishna became furious when he heard Kamsa speak this way, and he instantly leaped into the lofty royal dais. He grabbed Kamsa by the hair, hurled him down into the floor of the wrestling ring, and threw himself on top of him. In this way, Kamsa met his death, because out of fear, Kamsa had always thought of Krishna. After his death, he gained the liberation of having a form like that of the Lords. Kamsa's 8 brothers then attacked Krishna, but Balarama easily killed each of them with his club, just as a lion kills defenseless animals. Kettle drums resounded in the sky as the joyful demigods rained down flowers and chanted the glories of Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama. The wives of Kamsa, grieving for their husband, lamented that he had died because of his violence towards other living beings and his lack of respect for Krishna, the supreme soul who creates, maintains, and destroys the entire universe. The Lord consoled the widows, had the funeral rites performed for Kamsa and his brothers, and then released his mother and father from bondage. Krishna offered obeisances at his parents' feet, but they, now understanding him to be the supreme personality of Godhead, did not embrace him.
Hare Krishna. Hope you understood.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, it's easier. Next is 61. Okay. So where we are, Balarama is slaying Rukmi. Okay, I wanted another devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
This chapter lists Lord Krishna's sons, grandsons, and other progeny. It also describes how Lord Balrama killed Rukmi at Aniruddha's marriage ceremony and how Lord Krishna arranged for his sons and daughters to be married. Not understanding the full truth about Sri Krishna, each of his wives thought that since he remained constantly in her palace, she must be his favorite wife. They were all entranced by the Lord's beauty and his loving conversations with them, but they could not agitate his mind with the charming gestures of their eyebrows or by any other means. Having attained as their husband Lord Krishna, whom even demigods like Brahma find it difficult to know in truth, the Lord's queens were always eager to associate with him. Thus, although each of them had hundreds of maidservants, they would personally render him menial service. Each of Lord Krishna's wives had 10 sons, who in turn each fathered many sons and grandsons. In the womb of Rukmi's daughter Rukmavati, Pradyumna fathered Aniruddha. Though Sri Krishna had disrespected Rukmi to please his sister, Rukmi gave his daughter in marriage to Pradyumna and his granddaughter to Aniruddha. Bali, the son of Kratavarma, married Rukmini's daughter Charumati. At Aniruddha's wedding, Lord Baladeva, Sri Krishna, and other Yadavas went to Rukmi's palace in the city of Bhojakata. After the ceremony, Rukmi challenged Lord Baladeva to a game of dice. In the first match, Rukmi defeated Baladeva. Whereupon the king of Kalinga laughed at the Lord, displaying all his teeth. Lord Baldeva won the next match, but Rukmi refused to concede defeat. In voice then spoke from the sky, announcing that Baldeva had in fact won. But Rukmi, encouraged by the wicked kings, offended Lord Baladeva by saying that while he was certainly expert at tending cows, he knew nothing of playing dice. Thus insulted, Lord Baladeva angrily struck Rukmi dead with his club. The king of Kalinga tried to flee, but Lord Baladeva seized him and knocked out all his teeth. Then the other offensive kings, their arms, thighs, and heads, wounded by Baladeva's blows, fled in all directions, bleeding profusely. Shri Krishna expressed neither approval nor disapproval of his brother-in-law's death, fearing he would jeopardize his loving ties with either Rukmini or Baladeva. Lord Baladeva and other Yadavas then seated Aniruddha and his bride on a fine chariot, and they all set off for Dwaraka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This was during Krishna's grandson's daughter. Okay. So anything wrong happens, Lord Balarama is not going to leave them. Okay. Hare Krishna. So Balarama strikes Rukmi. So this is the story behind that. And deliverance of the gorilla. This is another pastime. This is also another pastime. Yeah. Yeah, finding it unbearable not to take an active part on behalf of either of the parties, he left Dwaraka on the plea of visiting various holy places of pilgrimages. Okay. Yeah, this is also another pastime of Lord Baladeva, where he kills Romaharshana with the blade of a grass. And this is the story. Hare Krishna. I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Towards the end of Dwapara Yuga, thousands of sages assembled on the banks of Naimisharanya to perform a 1,000-year yagna in an effort to reverse the onset of Kali Yuga. They appointed as their leader Romaharsana, one of the main disciples of Vyasadeva, who was also present when Sukdev Goswami narrated Srimad Bhagavatam to King Parikshit. When Lord Balrama entered the assembly, understanding him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all present rose to offer him respect. However, Romaharsana, proud at occupying the position of the leader, did not get up. Lord Balrama could understand that even though Romaharsana was an expert Vedantist, he had not yet realized these teachings. Considering him unqualified to lead the ceremony, Balrama touched him with a blade of grass, causing him to die. He then instituted Suta, the son of Romaharsana, as the leader of the assembly and continued with his pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Balarama will be on a pilgrimage. Before that, you know this incident where Romaharshana failed to, though he's a great Vedantist, but he failed to realize Lord Krishna, and Balarama cannot tolerate it. And so he will be put to an end with a blade of grass, and his son will be made a leader of that particular assembly. Hare Krishna. So this is another pastime. Yeah, Hare Krishna. I wanted another devotee volunteer to read.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Lord Balarama, wanting to stop fighting, said, "My dear King Duryodhana and Bhimasena, I know that both of you are great fighters and are well known in the world as great heroes. But still, I think that Bhimasena is superior to Duryodhana in bodily strength. On the other hand, Duryodhana is superior in the art of fighting with a club. Taking this into consideration, my opinion is that neither of you is inferior to the other in fighting. Under the circumstances, there is very little chance of one of you being defeated by the other. Therefore, I request you not to waste your time in fighting this way. I wish you to stop this unnecessary fight." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is before the Kurukshetra war. Marriage of Subhadra. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
There was once an incident where, in order to marry Balarama and Krishna's sister, Arjuna, upon the advice of Krishna, disguised himself as a sage. Balarama, believing Arjuna to be a sage, presented him Subhadra to render him service. Subhadra consequently fell in love with Arjuna and willingly left with him. Balarama, thinking his sister was kidnapped, was going to punish Arjuna. Krishna, the greatest architect of flowery words, pacified Balarama and explained him what truly happened. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. I wanted another devotee volunteer to read this.
Balarama marries Revati. In Satyayuga, there was a king named Raivata whose daughter Revati was excellent in all respects. Unable to find a match suitable for her, the king took her to the court of Brahma for his advice. After waiting for some time, when the king met with Brahma, he was shocked to learn that in the short time he spent in the Brahmaloka, millions of years had already passed on earth, and at the time Dwapar Yuga was concluding. However, Lord Brahma informed King Raivata that present at this time was Lord Balarama, who was more than qualified to be the husband of Revati. King Raivata returned and approached Balarama to accept Revati as his wife. However, Revati belonged to an earlier yuga when people were much larger physically. So Lord Balarama placed his plow on her head until she shrunk to an appropriate size and accepted her as his wife.
Hare Krishna. At last, Rama marries Revati. Very nice. Then followed by destruction of the Yadu dynasty. This is the end, what we see in Bhagavatam, I'll say 10th canto of Bhagavatam. As you go down, when the pastimes are finishing, yeah. Yeah, Subhadra, Arjuna kidnaps Subhadra. This we have completed, no? Krishna's glories. Then you will have some stories. Then Yadu dynasty returns to Prabhasa, and destruction of the Yadu dynasty will happen. Okay. I wanted some devotee volunteer to read this.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The disappearance of the Yadu dynasty. This chapter discusses the destruction of the Yadu dynasty in connection with the winding up of the pastimes of Supreme Lord of Supreme Personality of Godhead. After Sri Uddhava left for Badari Karishrama, Badari Karishrama, Lord Sri Krishna, taking note of many bad omens, advised the Yadavas to abandon Dwaraka and go to Prabhasha on the banks of the Saraswati to perform Swasthya, Ayana, and other rituals for counteracting bad fortune. They followed his advice and went to Prabhasha. There they became absorbed in festivity and by the illusory power of Lord Krishna, they became intoxicated from drinking liquor. Thus, losing their intelligence, they quarreled among themselves and began killing one another, until not a man was left alive. Afterwards, Sri Balarama went to the shore of the ocean, and by the mystic strength of yoga, he gave up his body. Seeing the disappearance of Baladeva, Lord Krishna sat down silently upon the ground. Then a hunter named Jara, mistaking the sole of the Lord's left foot for a deer, pierced it with an arrow. The hunter immediately understood his mistake and, falling at the feet of Lord Sri Krishna, begged to be punished. In reply, Lord Krishna told the hunter that what he had done was actually according to his own desire. The Lord then sent the hunter to Vaikunta. When Daruka, Krishna's charioteer, arrived on the scene and saw Lord Krishna in that condition, he began to lament. Krishna told him that he should go to Dwaraka, inform the residents about the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty, and advise them all to leave Dwaraka for Indraprastha. Daruka obediently carried out his order. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hope it is clear. Come on,
Yes,
all.
ma'am.
Yeah, all of you chant once. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, I think today's pastime about Lord Balarama. Hope everything is clear.
Yes.
The
Yes, ma'am.
PPTs, I'm not very comfortable, you know. Somehow I am a book person. If I read the book, then I feel I have read something. Yeah.
Mataji, one question.
Yes, please.
This preliminary expansion and avatars, what exact difference is there in that plus other second expansion, third expansion?
I will ask you one question, Prabhu. What are the derivatives of milk? You tell me.
Milk is curd, then we have sweets, then paneer and all such.
Okay. So what is the source?
Source is milk.
Okay. So the other derivatives, are they a part and parcel of the milk or they are different?
No, they are actually different, but the origin is the same as milk.
Okay. So for your question, the answer is the same, Prabhu.
So it is so
Krishna
initially
is
it
the
is a
source.
Krishna, his expansions, and then the derivatives, you can call it like that.
See, Krishna is the source of all incarnation. This is the first canto, third chapter. Okay. In the beginning of creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients of the material creation, which is required for the mankind to exist. So at thus, there was a creation of 16 principles of material action. That was the purpose of creating the material universe. It's in the very beginning. Okay.
Okay.
So the first, this is the first one. Then you'll have a second manifestation of Purusha, that is indestructible seeds of multifarious incarnation within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. Okay. So from the first thing, from the navel of the body of Garbhodaka Sai Vishu sprouts a lotus stem. From the lotus flowers atop a Brahma. This is the first. He's the master of all engineers in the universe. And here's the first one. Second one is that this, the demigods, the men and other will be created. Okay.
Okay.
So, so through Brahma, you'll have 4 Kumaras and who are strict brahmacharis who maintain celibacy. And then you have the other avatara incarnation of the board. Okay. And this is for the welfare of the earth. I think this we have discussed in our Dashavatara class. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Then you got Devarshi Narada Avatara. Okay. And fourth is Naranarayana, twin sons of twin sons of the wife of the king Dharma. Okay. This is the fourth incarnation. Fifth is Kapila. Sixth is again sage Atri. Seventh incarnation is Yajna. Eighth is King Rishabha. And ninth is King Prithu. This you will come to know in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. And 10th is Chakshusa Manu. And 11th is again the Kurma Avtara. 12th is Dhanvantri. 13th is endure the atheist by the charming beauty of the women and give nectar to the demigods to drink. This is again that Mohini Avatara. 14th is Narsimha Avatara. 15th is again Vamana Avatara. And 16th is Bhrigu. And 17th is Vyasadeva. 18th is Lord Rama. 19th and 20th are Balarama and Krishna. Okay. And then comes the Buddha Avatara. Then Kalki Avatara. Okay. So, certain avatars like Parshurama and all are Shaktyavesh Avatara. Lord Rama is again a different Avatara. That is a soft-natured one and all. Lord Krishna and Balarama is a different. But Krishna is a source for all these things. But they appear in these different incarnations, what we have discussed above. There are few more, you know. So all these things as per the requirement of that particular time, you know. So Vyasadeva's incarnation is for some purpose, and Balarama's incarnation is for some purpose, like Vamanadeva's incarnation is for some. So some, what do you say, these avatars, whatever is been described, this, just go through this chapter once. This is just a summary. You will have
Yes.
an idea
Yes,
about.
Mother.
Okay, hope it is
So
clear.
it means that the expansions are in the spiritual nature and avatars are in the material nature. That is what I think it is.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank
Hare Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Any other doubts? Anything? Hare Krishna. I think today they didn't share the attendance link, but it's okay. If there are no more questions, I think we'll end the session for today.
Yes, Mataji.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Thank you, participants, for your active participation. See you all on next Tuesday. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.